Alright kids, so here we are back in the basement and back with order of operations. Day 3 of order of operations. You should know the 4 by now. Grouping symbols could be parentheses, brackets, or braces, exponents, multiplication and division on the same level, addition and subtraction on the same level. So here we go. We're going to put a slight twist in our order of operation problems today, and I want you to evaluate for these values. So I'm going to tell you what each variable represents. The first thing you have to do is substitute that value into the expression, then evaluate it. Evaluate just means simplify, find the answer. We don't say solve. Solve means there's an equal sign. No equal signs yet, we'll get there. So just the vocabulary is important here. You won't hear me say solve these, you simplify them. So here we go, x, y. If I have 2 letters written next to each other, what does that mean? What am I going to do with the value of x and the value for y? Very good. I'm going to multiply them together. So it says x is 3, y is -4. Substitute. It is always a good idea when you substitute your values, when you plug in, you put it in parentheses. Really helps. Optional with positive numbers, required with negative numbers. Good idea with all of them. So here we go. We already said right next to each other means multiplication. 3 times -4, -12. All right. Number 2, be careful here. Y is -4. So I have 5 minus y. So that means 5 minus, and I told you, when you substitute, put it in parentheses. 5 minus -4. Make sure you have both of them written there, written in your notes. This is not the same as this, okay? When you substitute for the value, you put it in parentheses and take what it's equal to in. Then, again, you have the advantage of calculators here. We know minus negative. Whenever you have minus negative, that turns into a, very good, a plus. So minus negative, I can think about this as a plus sign. So 5 plus 4 is 9. If you forget that stuff, use a real calculator. 5 minus -4 and +9. Number 3. X is 3, y is -4. Plug them in. So I've got 3 over 3 minus -4 over -4. You're saying, Mr. Stevens, you didn't put in parentheses in it. You're right, I didn't, because there's nothing else around there to confuse me. If you want to put these -4s in parentheses, by all means do so. So here we go. What operation is this? It is a fraction bar, but it means division, okay? So we think back to our order of operations. I've got division here, and subtraction. Division comes first. 3 divided by 3 is 1. -4 divided by -4 is 1. 1 minus 1, big fat 0. All right? These 2 problems. You've seen these probably 100 times, I don't know, probably for the last couple of years. Very important difference on these 2 problems. Okay, let's just talk about what this means. What does a square mean? What if I square something, what do I do? Yes, multiply it by itself. Now it's very tricky here, and you understand the notation. This is telling me -5 squared. So the squared is only on the 5. So this means -5 times 5. Only the 5 is being squared. This tells me both of them. It is -5 times -5. The -5, the whole thing is being squared. So those parentheses are very important. Parentheses. Okay, we touched on this yesterday. It's a grouping symbol, but there's nothing going on inside there, so I don't have to worry about that part of the parentheses. It's telling me to square the whole thing. So here I've got a -5 times 5. Here I've got -5 times -5. Why does that matter? If I multiply this out, there's only one negative. So I get negative 25. Here, 2 negatives gives me positive 25. Very different answers. Okay, so be careful with those parentheses when you have exponents. Watch those closely. All right, speaking of exponents, number 6 tells me y squared. So again, I go to my substitution rules, and like I said earlier, I want to put that in parentheses. When you substitute, put it in parentheses. It will help save a lot of, we just talked about the difference between parentheses and no parentheses. You got to have them here. Negative 4 squared tells me negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. If you're putting this into a calculator, number 5 or number 6, and you're getting the answer wrong, it's telling you the opposite sign. You're not putting the parentheses in the calculator, okay? When you put this in the calculator, put it in just like this. Parentheses, negative 4, close parentheses, squared, okay? Find the squared button on your calculator. It's on there. It either looks like this, okay? Or sometimes there's an up arrow, and then you can just type a 2 after it, all right? Most of your calculators are gonna have a button like that for you to do squared. Up arrow or up caret is for any exponent. If you need to do a third power, you would do this button right there for third power. You just put up caret and 3. Okay? You really need to learn how to use that machine. It'll help you a ton this whole year. Number 7. Number 7 is going to be a little tricky. It's going to be a verbal problem. Okay? I'm going to read you a word problem, and you're going to have to put the answer on the daily assessment. So here we go. I don't want the final answer to this. I just want you to write an expression. All right? So it says, I bought 3 planners for $14 each and 2 calculators for $12 each. I'll say it again, but of course you can rewind and listen to it as many times as you want. I bought 3 planners for $14 each and 2 calculators for $12 each. All right, boys and girls, take care.